we think of horror, we often imagine monsters, blood, or jump scares. But cosmic horror? That's something entirely different. It's a genre that's not just about fear of the unknown. It's about confronting the idea that humanity might not matter in the grand scheme of things. The Mist, 2007, directed by Frank Darabont and based on Stephen King's novella, presents a terrifying scenario. A small town becomes trapped under a mysterious mist filled with horrifying creatures. But beneath the monsters and chaos, there's a much deeper, more unsettling question. What if humanity is just a small, insignificant speck in an indifferent universe? At first glance, the film might seem like another monster movie. But The Mist isn't about the creatures outside the store. It's about the choices people make when faced with fear, and how that fear amplifies when the world starts to crumble. The mist, thick and suffocating, is a perfect metaphor for the cosmic horror lurking just beneath the surface. It's not just a physical barrier. It represents the unknowable, vast forces that humans can't control. Imagine being trapped, unsure of what's lurking outside, knowing there's nothing you can do but wait and hope. But in The Mist, hope is a fragile thing. The true horror of The Mist doesn't come from the beasts outside. It comes from the unraveling of human nature when faced with absolute dread. It's about how fear breaks down reason and strips people of their humanity. Take Mrs. Carmody, for example. She represents blind faith, a character whose fanaticism grows in the face of doom. She doesn't just want to survive, she wants others to fall in line with her beliefs, even if it means sacrificing them. In cosmic horror, that's the crux of it. The characters in The Mist aren't just battling creatures. They're battling their own existential fears, their understanding of morality, and their need for control in a world that has suddenly turned chaotic and indifferent. And then there's the ending. Without giving too much away, it's one of the most gut-wrenching conclusions in horror history. It's the ultimate example of cosmic horror, the realization that no matter how much we fight, the universe just doesn't care. It's a brutal reminder that in the grand, uncaring cosmos, even the best of us are powerless. In cosmic horror, there's no sense of closure. The forces that threaten us are not easily understood or defeated. They exist outside our comprehension, just beyond the veil of reality, and they are often indifferent to human life. So the next time you find yourself alone, maybe staring out into a mist, wondering what's out there, remember, it's not the monsters that will get you. It's the terrifying, cold realization that the universe might not care about you at all. In Annihilation, 2018, the boundaries between the known and the unknown dissolve, revealing a terrifying cosmic force that challenges everything we understand about life, death, and self. The film follows Lena, a biologist whose husband has disappeared into a mysterious area known as the Shimmer. When he returns, altered and near death, Lena embarks on a dangerous mission with a team of scientists to uncover the truth about this bizarre and expanding phenomenon. What they find is far more horrifying than they could have ever imagined. The Shimmer is not a place. It's a force, an incomprehensible entity that warps everything it touches. Plants, animals, even human DNA. Everything is being rewritten. The laws of nature bend, mutate, and break within its borders. The very fabric of reality seems to stretch and fray, as if the Shimmer is a living thing, evolving and growing. Its purpose unfathomable. As Lena and her team journey deeper into the Shimmer, they begin to unravel not just the mystery of its origins, but something much more disturbing. They begin to lose their sense of self. The Shimmer doesn't just alter the physical world, it alters perception, memory, and identity. The team's sense of reality becomes increasingly fractured. The further they go, the less they are able to trust their senses, and the more they question their own existence. What begins as a scientific expedition soon becomes a descent into madness. The group's bond fractures, and one by one, they encounter terrifying, mutated creatures that blur the line between life and death, between organic and inorganic. But the true horror lies not in these monsters. It lies in the slow, quiet erosion of the human mind, as the Shimmer's influence begins to reshape their very souls. At the heart of the Shimmer, Lena confronts a shocking revelation. The force is not an invasion, nor a weapon, it is a transformation. A reflection of something far more cosmic, a force that challenges humanity's very place in the universe. It reveals that the true terror isn't the fear of death, but the fear of becoming something else entirely, something unrecognizable. As Lena faces this horrifying truth, she must decide, will she embrace the transformation, or will she fight to hold on to what makes her human? Annihilation presents a terrifying cosmic truth, that in the face of the unknown, the greatest horror is not what we lose, but what we might become.
Found something. We found something.
When we think of alien horror, we often picture something otherworldly, incomprehensible, something that strikes fear with its sheer presence. But The Thing, 1982, directed by John Carpenter, is different. It's not just about the fear of an alien entity. It's about the fear of losing your identity, the fear that you can't trust anyone around you. Set in an isolated research station in Antarctica, The Thing presents a terrifying scenario, a shape-shifting alien creature that can imitate anything it comes into contact with, even human beings. But beyond the grotesque transformations, the real horror lies in the paranoia that spreads among the crew. In The Thing, there's no clear villain. The alien isn't some malicious being hunting down humans. Instead, it's a cold, calculating organism doing what it does to survive. The true terror emerges when the crew begins to question who's human and who's been replaced. Is that person beside you the same one you knew, or is it something else? The film pushes the idea that, in the face of survival, our understanding of what makes us human becomes fragile. Who we trust, how we define ourselves, it all becomes uncertain. The isolation, the constant dread of not knowing who to trust, it's more terrifying than any physical threat. The creature, with its grotesque transformations, represents the ultimate fear, not knowing if you can ever truly know anyone again. The paranoia is the heart of the film. Everyone becomes a suspect, and everyone becomes a threat. No one is safe, not just from the alien, but from the human instincts that begin to surface. In the claustrophobic confines of the research station, it's every man for himself, and trust evaporates faster than the ice around them. And then, there's the horror of the unknown. The Thing is an alien, yes, but it's not a thing that follows any human logic or reasoning. It's beyond comprehension, beyond our ability to predict or control. It's a reminder that the universe is not just a vast and mysterious place, it's an indifferent one, and humanity is just another fragile organism trying to survive. The end of The Thing is not a conclusion, it's a question. Even after the bloodshed, even after everything that's been lost, we're left with the uncertainty of what's next. Is anyone truly human anymore? Or is the alien still out there, biding its time, waiting to strike again? In The Thing, the true horror lies not in the creature, but in the unraveling of human trust, the crumbling of what we believe to be our nature. It's a brutal reflection of how, in the face of something unknown, we are all just animals, desperate to survive, even if it means losing what makes us human in the process. The real monster isn't the alien, it's the terror of never truly knowing who's with you and who's already been replaced. In The Endless, 2017, the line between reality and delusion is thin, a mere veil that keeps the cosmic horror lurking just out of sight. The story follows two brothers, Justin and Aaron, who return to a UFO cult they once escaped from, seeking closure. What they find, however, is far more unsettling. The cult, which seemed like a group of misguided believers in their youth, has a terrifying, timeless grip on them. The brothers quickly realize that their return is not by chance, but part of a much bigger and darker plan. The camp is steeped in a strange, unsettling atmosphere. Time doesn't behave as it should. The past seems to bleed into the present, and people don't age, stuck in an endless loop. What was once a seemingly peaceful, albeit peculiar, community now reveals its true nature. The cult members are not just trapped in the past. They are prisoners of an unbreakable cycle, each day repeating itself with subtle differences that seem increasingly unnatural. The brothers, desperate to escape, begin to unravel the terrifying truth. They are not merely stuck in a loop, they are part of it. The cult's leaders, once considered eccentric, are now revealed to be something more. They are timeless, existing beyond the normal flow of time, locked in a perpetual existence. The cosmic horror of The Endless lies not in monstrous creatures or grandiose spectacles, but in the quiet, insidious unraveling of the mind. The brothers' quest to leave the cult and return to normal life becomes a battle with something much greater. The fear that there may be no escape from the cycle of time, that they are merely pawns in a game beyond their comprehension. The endless cycle is not just a supernatural force, it's a reflection of human existence itself. The horror of The Endless is the realization that we are all bound to repeat our mistakes, trapped in loops of our own making. The brothers' struggle to break free is a battle with their own pasts, their own unresolved trauma, and the unsettling truth that they may never truly escape. In the end, The Endless leaves us with a chilling question. What if there is no escape from the cycle of time, from the loops of our lives, from the forces that control us? What if, in our search for meaning and freedom, we are only running in circles, destined to repeat ourselves again and again, in a world where the boundaries of time and space are not what we think they are? In The Void, 2016, horror is not just something lurking in the shadows. It's something that's inside us all, a terrifying, cosmic force that distorts reality and turns human nature into something unrecognizable. The story unfolds in an isolated hospital where a group of strangers becomes trapped. But as the sinister forces begin to manifest, the true horror emerges. The line between life and death, sanity and madness, begins to blur. The hospital, once a place of healing, becomes a nightmarish labyrinth where the very walls seem to pulse with malevolent energy. Outside, the world is being overtaken by an endless void, a cosmic abyss that reflects the void within each of us. As the survivors try to escape, they come to realize that the horror they face is not only external, but internal. They are being driven to the edge of their own existence, tested by the darkest parts of themselves. The creature, a grotesque manifestation of the unknowable, represents something primal, something that lies beyond human understanding. Its grotesque, shifting form is a reminder that there are things in the universe that defy all logic, all reason. But the real horror in the void isn't just the creature. It's the unraveling of identity, the fear of becoming something else entirely. As the walls of reality crumble, the survivors are forced to confront the void inside them, a place where there are no easy answers, no escape. In the end, the void leaves us with more questions than answers. What is the void? Is it the abyss outside, or the darkness inside each of us? Can we escape its pull, or are we all destined to be consumed by it? The horror isn't just in the creature that stalks the hospital. It's in the realization that the void is everywhere. It's in the cracks in our reality, in the fear of losing ourselves to something greater and more terrifying than any monster. The survivors are left to face the horrifying truth. Sometimes, the things that terrify us the most aren't the monsters outside, but the ones within. In the void, humanity is pushed to its breaking point, and the true terror lies in the collapse of everything we thought we knew about existence. It's a reminder that sometimes the most horrifying thing we can encounter isn't an alien, a monster, or a killer. It's the unknowable, unfathomable forces that lurk at the edges of reality, ready to pull us into the void. A special thanks to everyone who stuck around until the end. Your support really means the world to me. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow, and I truly appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video.